Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another video. It is the Empowered Educator here, and I'm so excited to be tuned in with you all on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. I hope everyone has enjoyed their weekend and are looking forward to going back inside the classroom this week to continue to empower the lives that we are teaching each and every day. So the topic of today's video is going to be 7 key ideas that empower students of culture as well as those who have experienced trauma within their lifetime or at some point within their lifetime, okay? And for those of you who do not know me, I am Janine Hogan. I am a new business owner here in Louisville, Kentucky. And Empowered Educator was developed as a means of continuing to empower our children as well as teachers across the globe. At the end of this video, I am going to be giving information about a special opportunity that I am going to be providing for a classroom teacher as well as a classroom of theirs and students that they teach. And I'm so excited. So stay tuned for this entire video so you can make sure to hear details about that opportunity at the end. And if you are new to the channel, I welcome you. I thank you all for being here. And please, 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 if any of these ideas or anything that's mentioned in this video today that resonates with you, remember to give this video a thumbs up and to subscribe and to also share amongst others who could benefit from this great information. All right. So without further ado, I am going to go ahead and get started with the mission, vision, and values of Empowered Educator. Okay. So the mission is to empower priority school educators, children, and families through culturally responsive instructional practices that promote marginalized student academic achievement and positive behavior outcomes. The vision of Empowered Educator is to empower and educate the whole child, as well as their caregivers and teachers through culturally responsive instructional practices and routines. And our values, as always, are to teach a mind, to touch a heart, and to change a life. And we know through each of these components that we are making a difference in the lives that we wish to continue to see in this world, okay? So again, what is the topic of this video, Ms. Hogan? It's to address 7 key ideas that empower students of culture as well as those who have experienced trauma. And for those of you who do not know, I am a local school teacher here in Louisville, Kentucky. And I actually work at a trauma-informed school, okay? So let's talk a little bit about what child trauma is and what exactly a trauma-informed school is, all right? So the definition of child trauma, I actually got this from the National Child Traumatic Stress Network. They address child trauma as, and that's a tongue twister, you all, child trauma. They address child trauma as children who have experienced or have been exposed to one or more traumas over the course of their lives, okay? We can think about child trauma as a one-time event or incident, or a multitude of incidents that have occurred within the development phase of a child. And we know that through trauma that students experience, that there are reactions to some of the events that impact our children, okay? Some of the trauma that I've actually worked with in the classroom space are students who have been verbally abused, emotionally abused, some who have been sexually abused, as well as those who have dealt with violence, racial tension, as well as neglect, death or loss of a loved one, as well as so much more. And if you think about the times that we are living in right now, I think that we all can agree that a mental health crisis is on the rise. We continue to see different trauma across the media, as well as in the personal lives that our children are living. And through the traumas that those students experience, we know that it's affecting the lives that they live, okay? And a lot of these incidents or events, um, they might have a start and stop within that moment, but some of those incidents are reoccurring, okay? They happen more than once. And sometimes students are triggered through different events that occur within the learning space. And it's important that when we are trauma informed, that we know the different tools that we need to utilize in order to help our children as best as we can, okay? And that's what being trauma informed it's all about. It's being able to identify when a student is having a traumatic episode and address what services or supports need to be put in place to help that child succeed behaviorally, mentally, and academically within the learning space. Okay. Um, and trauma also has some side effects to it. Okay. Um, I know that as a survivor of trauma myself, some of the issues I've dealt with are anger or frustration, um, dissociation, just not wanting to be involved with people or having issues with socialization, such as social anxiety. Um, Also, memory loss. You can also have flashbacks of moments where there was a traumatic episode happening. There's just a lot that can impact a child that will develop over the course of their life if it is not addressed appropriately at the stages that they are developing in. Okay. So, through Empowered Educator, we not only empower the minds of learners or adult learners, we also spiritually empower our people who are involved as well as physically. Okay. And today I'm going to be giving you all 7 key ideas that empower children who have experienced trauma as well as those in culture. Okay. So, the first key idea I want to address today is the aspect of repetition. Okay, repetition is a powerful tool within the learning space. And I have a question here. It says, do you provide opportunities to revisit a specific part of your lesson? Repeating key details throughout the instructional day, including your lesson plans, can help students recall information quickly. Okay. And some examples of repetition being utilized in your learning space are through classroom rules, as well as your workshop model that you utilize for the different content areas that you are teaching. Okay. This helps students be able to transition smoothly from one activity to the next, as well as one content area to the next. And it also helps with memory. Okay. We know that children who have experienced trauma may have issues with retention. Okay. So repetition is critical. It helps students understand or um, remember aspects of your classroom and your learning space. Okay. Something I do in my classroom all the time is repeat the learning targets that we are learning about. I visit that in the very beginning of our lesson. I also address it right at the end because kids know that this is an opportunity for me to self-reflect as a mathematician, as an author, or an illustrator in whatever content area or aspect that you are teaching. Okay. You want to make sure that your systems in place are offer opportunities for repetition. Okay. It just helps kids recall information very quickly. My students, it's October, and my students can recite to you all the 6 rules that we utilize and we practice inside of the classroom. We go over it twice per day. Okay, twice per day in the early morning when we are addressing our social emotional learning curriculum, as well as in the middle of the afternoon, right after lunch, because sometimes right after lunch, kids are really excited. And we just want to kind of bring that level to a nice, calm emotion so that we can get through the rest of our day and continue to have that high energy focused on learning, okay? So repetition is key to empowering students of culture as well as those who have experienced trauma, all right? Key idea number 2, consistency, okay? I like to think of consistency as how regular or how often you address the order and structure of your learning space, okay? So a question that you might ask is, do you provide order or structure in your learning space, or is your style more fluid? Okay. Classrooms that follow a consistent schedule, order, or routine typically achieve at higher levels than those who are unstable. Okay. And I don't want you to think of me using the word unstable as, oh my gosh, she's calling me out. No, I'm not calling you out at all. Okay. It's okay to have a fluid learning space. All right. There's actually lots of programs out here that utilize more of a fluid learning space or student directed learning. And one of those programs that I'm familiar with is Montessori learning. Okay. Montessori learning is a little bit more fluid because it's more student directed learning. Now, not all students are capable of handling self-directed learning, which is why we go into more of a traditional setting where teachers are kind of leading the instruction within the classroom. But there's lots of different ways that you can diversify the way that you are teaching inside of your classroom, okay? But at least you want to have some type of consistency, especially in the very beginning of the year, that helps students adapt to a routine and structure in your environment, okay? Also, once you do get students kind of set in a routine, it's nice to kind of remix, okay? Allow opportunities to take the teacher directedness away and allow students to have more choice and fluidity within the content that you are teaching. And some of the ways that I like to diversify or allow fluidity within my classroom is through self-choice literacy centers, okay? In the past, I would kind of do rotations, but I've decided, I want to have students kind of pick and choose what they need to work on within the classroom. I want there to be opportunities for students of culture to have choice. And choice allows some of that ownership for students to feel like they belong inside of the classroom and they're capable of making their own choices specific to what their needs are, okay? I absolutely love my student self-care kits. It's my number one hit inside of my classroom. And what it has helped students do is develop consciousness of when they are experiencing different feelings throughout the academic day. There's also choices of making a mini book where students can become authors and illustrators. There's also opportunities for letter tracing and reading to self, or with the stuffed animal inside of the classroom library. So student choice is important, yes, but you want to make sure you are consistent about the routines that you utilize within your classroom, okay? Key idea number 3, praise and positive reinforcement, you all. This is big. Do you praise more than you address problems in your learning space? Positive praise makes a significant impact on the way students see themselves in your classroom. Some different ways that I like to provide positive praise or positive reinforcement is by using my manners. I tell students, thank you for getting in line and wearing a hug and bubble in the hallway. I appreciate you being a leader. Thank you. I just use different mannerisms within the classroom. And when students hear the adult being a role model in that way, that encourages them to also do the same with the peers that they are interacting with. I also like to give out treats to my class, whether that be through candy or just just telling them good job. Okay, I'm proud of you. You did something great today. I also like to sample student work inside of my classroom. Okay, you're also going to get some students, that have more behavioral needs than others. And what I like to do is praise those students right away, okay, for fixing it, quote unquote, fixing it. Okay, good job fixing it. I say that all the time. I'm sure other teachers out here say it too. And they don't need to know. The whole class doesn't need to know, what was fixed. But I do acknowledge, hey, you corrected a behavior, and I didn't have to tell you to do that. You took that initiative to do that yourself. So doing that right away, okay? We have smart panels in our classroom, so I always tell kids to go up. They love to click on the board, operate on the board. So I'll go up tell the kids to go up there and click on their Dojo Monster. I like using Class Dojo in my classroom. They'll click on the Dojo Monster, and they'll give themselves, a range of 1 to 5 points just for whatever, whatever behavior they were addressing at that time or modeling at that time, okay? But it builds up student motivation, okay? It makes students feel like what they're doing is important, and it's also an aspect of leadership, okay? It also helps other students mimic that behavior because sorry, everybody's calling me right now, y'all. Everybody's calling me right now. Phone's right here. I don't have to hide it. But that positive praise, it's key. Okay, it's one of my biggest weapons that I like to use in the classroom, as well as ignoring. Sometimes I'll just ignore. I'll turn my back, like I don't see. I'll pretend like I don't see. But when you get out this door, you're gonna fix it, and I'm gonna tell you, good job for doing the right thing. Okay. Key idea number 4. All right, special shout outs and recognition. So this kind of builds off of the positive reinforcement and praise. All right. Do you show honor for student achievement and milestone development in your learning space? These strategies also motivate student learning and character development. Okay, it helps students build on their confidence, their self-esteem, their self-actualization, or how they see themselves as role models within your classroom environment. Some ways that I encourage teachers to motivate their students are through positive phone calls home, home visits. These might be things that you're already doing, but I'm just reinforcing or confirming that those are effective strategies. Those work. Okay. You can do home visits. Okay. You can also show up. Y'all show up. Go to a basketball game. Go to a cheerleading competition. Go see your dance team go dance. Okay. Be involved. Show them that you are here for them. And as well as not just here for their academic endeavors, but you're here for their personal ones too. That means a lot to a child, okay? And then it makes them feel like they are the teacher's pet. We still got kids out there that appreciate being the teacher's pet, all right? I also like to give shout outs on the morning announcements and give out some different certificates. I take pictures, y'all. I take pictures of my kids. I put them on my lesson plans. My kids love that. They love that. They love being recognized as a reader or someone that's practicing reading strategies in the classroom to help them become better readers. They love it, y'all. So these are just some different ways that you can continue to recognize students for doing the right thing, okay? Or those of culture, or those who have experienced trauma. Tangible rewards, you all. Do you offer individual and class rewards to earn in your learning space? Okay, tangible rewards give students a concrete way of celebrating themselves. All right. This also helps build up intrinsic motivation for the child who may not get that extra attention or reward at home. So again, when you think about children that are in trauma, I also consider the families that they come from. The families might also be reliving some of those experiences, okay? And I know what it's like. I am a single parent, and I've been a child of single parenting. And I know oftentimes adults, they can't always give the child the attention that they need. Adults are, at the same time the child is trying to heal, the adults are also trying to heal. All right. And sometimes it's just hard to give that attention to your baby when, sometimes you got to give yourself that love. You got to give yourself that love. So I get that and I understand that. But when you give out those rewards, it really makes kids feel proud of themselves. It builds back on that motivation aspect, that recognition aspect, that positive reinforcement. Okay. But having that tangible, that concrete item really helps kids feel proud of themselves. It can be a toy. Something that I use in my classroom a lot are self-care tools, such as like a water bead stress ball, some things that I include in my self-care kits, as well as Play-Doh, just different things that they can utilize as tools to help them calm down and stay focused in the learning environment. All right. Key idea number 6, student work samples and role models. I talked about this a little bit already, but this is big too, okay? Do you share student work with your class or use leaders in your learning space to set examples? Students of culture need this. They need to know that what they're doing is the right thing and that they deserve to be, showcased inside of the classroom and or school building, all right? Children love to be seen as leaders for outstanding work or behavior in the learning space, all right? Allow students to share their work among their classmates and be used as role models for special events such as the morning announcements. My students absolutely, they love just being the person that gets to come up to the classroom with their little whiteboard and explaining, this is what I did first, next, and last to solve my math problem. And then the class, will give them a round of applause. They'll clap for them and say, oh, I'm so proud of you. You did a good job. Or they'll compliment those students. It really builds up their self-esteem. And their self-confidence. Okay, so it goes back to that character development and just allowing our children to see themselves as leaders, not even just in the classroom. Y'all, they're going to take these skills and apply it anywhere else that they go after they come out of your room. And that's what we want. We want our students to feel empowered, not just in the classroom space, but in any public aspect. All right. Key idea number 7, guided practice, guided practice, guided practice. Do you provide opportunities to respond using the concrete, representational, abstract model? All right. It has to go in that order. All right. Your guided practice has to start off concrete, where, you might have some hands-on manipulatives, to more of a representation where you're like using drawings or equations to solve problems, into more then moving into that abstract model, okay, where students are critically thinking about the exercise that they are doing. But guided support, you all, this is what helps students learn those new concepts, all right? And when you are doing that guided support, you want to make sure you go back to a key idea number 1, repetition. Be repetitious with that, okay? Right now, the biggest area of growth with my students in class is writing. Writing is an ultimate need globally right now. Okay. I'm not even just talking about for primary learners. I'm talking about across the board, even going all the way up to college level. People need help writing. All right. What I've been doing to scaffold students into writing is by giving them sentence stems, giving them some starters to help them address the topic that we are learning about. I have also been very adamant about utilizing the word wall and helping them with reading strategies to help them write, okay, stretching out the words so they can hear the sounds that they need to write inside of those words. Being big on utilizing what they know about sight words, okay? I have a question here. What are instructional strategies that you use to support the needs of your diverse learners? Here are some of my favorite ones that I like to use for guided practice. I love to use whiteboards. I love to play 4-corner games, and I also love to role play. Role playing kind of brings that book or that idea to life, right? So guided practice is very, very important. I used to see all these videos of guided writing take place, and I feel like, writing nowadays is so different. You will practically put some kids to sleep going up there and practicing, writing. I like to involve the kids. I like to involve the kids as much as possible because that's what's going to keep them engaged. Children who have experienced trauma also have low attention span. Okay. A lot of people like to diagnose kids that have low attention span with ADHD or ADD behaviors, as well as, just anything that might sound like it's a disability. And some of it isn't, it's not a disability. It's just, it's a response to trauma that I have experienced. And what we have to do as educators is sometimes bring that bar to the child's level so that they are able to academically succeed. Okay. So those are the 7 key ideas, you all. Okay. And I hope that if any of these key ideas resonated with you, or these are things that you are already doing in your classroom, I need you all to drop them down in the comments below. Let's share the air and let's create a community where we can talk about different ways that we empower our children of culture, as well as those who have experienced trauma. All right, put them down in the comments below. And also give this video a thumbs up, share, subscribe to the channel so you can get details about more videos that I have coming out soon. All right, so this is my business card. It basically goes over other services that I provide under Empowered Educator LLC, as well as programs and products that I also sell. Okay. Again, I am K through 5 certified to teach elementary learners. I have a master's degree in teacher leadership and a certificate in diversity literacy. So I know what to do to help our students learn. Okay. Especially those of cultures and those who have experienced trauma. All right. And here are some recommended reads that I would like to offer you all to continue to utilize as you become a teacher researcher, okay, a teacher practitioner of research. Eric Jensen is one of my favorite authors. I love reading stories that he writes. I need to read that purple book that he just came out with. But I'm telling you, he gives you the strategies, you all. He gives you the strategies. He gives you the mindset to go inside the classroom, put your cape on, and do the work, all right? He's an amazing author. And y'all, we got homework to do. We got homework to do. Now we know the ideas. Let's put them into practice. Oh, homework, set the goal, y'all, and make it happen. And I told y'all to hang on because I had something special for you at the end of this video. All right. And what I have for you all is a special announcement in regard to my student self-care kits. You all, this is my social emotional program that I started under my business. And I am going to be gifting one classroom teacher and their students their own personalized student self-care kits, you all. So this is what the Black Boys looks like and the tools that come inside of there. We got some positive self-talk through positive affirmations, a little mirror that comes with that. It is a portable set, so you can use it anywhere. I like to use it in the mornings in my classroom. When we are speaking into ourselves, we say, I am somebody. All right. But that's a mirror mantra kit you can use for more positive affirmations inside of your classroom, a water bead stress ball to help with that anxiety that students might be experiencing, a puzzle set to help with memory and retention, a positive affirmations coloring book, as well as a privacy journal and modeling clay, plus so much more. OK, this is what the Black Girl set looks like. And then I also have more of a generalized kit for any child of culture. Okay, this is what the girls one looks like. All right. So if you are interested in being considered for being gifted these self-care kits, what I need you all to do is down in the comments below, I need you all to fill out the Google form that is linked so that you can be a option, so that you can be an option to receive this gift for your classroom. Y'all, Christmas time is coming around. How awesome would it be for your class to be being gifted this beautiful self-care kit to utilize in their classroom? Okay. Now, with those kits, I am going to require teachers to do at least a 1-hour training with me on how to utilize the program inside of their classroom. And it'll be short, but it will help you think about ways to utilize them in your classroom and give you some strategies about effective use, okay? But y'all, I am the Empowered Educator. I'm so glad that you all tuned in for this video. I thank you so much for your time and your attention today. Happy Sunday again. Let's go inside that classroom. Let's set the goal. Let's make it happen. Let's make that difference. All right. Thank you so much for your time. And again, like and subscribe to this channel. Thank you.